Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Benson. What's yours? When Disney decided that they were going to open Galaxy's Edge inside Hollywood Studios, they also made the announcement they will be opening a completely Star Wars themed immersive resort. So in the last few days, we've gotten a few more details about the resort, along with some photos concept of what they're hoping it'll look like. There's even a short video on YouTube that shows people standing in what looks like a control room for a starship and TIE fighters and X-Wings flying by on the outside. It's only like a 6 or 7 second clip, and not much else happens unless you pay close attention to the windows behind the drawings of the people. This new Star Wars themed resort promises to be one of a kind. Disney says it's going to revolutionize the way that people spend their vacation time. This promises to be a 100% completely immersive resort style stay that will open directly into Galaxy's Edge so that they can complete that immersion once you're on site. Start by taking a shuttle to your starship, where upon entering you'll be completely immersed in Star Wars stories and characters from across the universe. Disney's gone so far as to say there won't be actual real windows in this hotel. They'll be using projector style screens to show you what's going on outside your starship, so you could see a TIE fighter and an X-Wing fight going on right outside your bedroom window. Forget about that sunshine you're used to at a normal hotel. They're offering space. I mean, it's fake space, but it's still space. It's outer space, and that's going to be completely amazing. With that being said, I'd probably stay home if I were claustrophobic, because I don't believe at this price point Disney's going to allow you to shut those windows off and ruin the immersion for you or other guests. With all the Star Wars characters and stories surrounding you inside your starship, there'll be themed rooms that'll look like you're on board an actual spacecraft. They're also going to complete the immersion of this resort by having you dress the part. I haven't found anything that specifically says who's going to provide the costumes. I would assume if Disney wants to keep the immersion 100%, they'll be dressing you for your part. But again, some of the sources I've read, they make it seem like Disney's going to provide the outfits, and then another one seems like you'll have to provide the outfits. Because one says you will dress the part, one says you can dress the part. But we'll see once it opens. This voyage will be a 2-day adventure. What I'm assuming is going to be a 2-night, 3-day voyage on the starship before you're booted out, just like Emperor Palpatine was on the Death Star by Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. So, why only 2 days? Why can't I stay 5 days? I imagine Disney's doing that in order to keep it from getting stale. I also think what's going to happen with this resort is that Disney's going to have it set up so that a group of people come into the resort, stay 2.5 days, and then leave, give them time to reset everything in the resort, and then a new group comes in the following day. So they'll be on like a 3-day schedule. I don't foresee them having this be completely 100% immersive and allowing you to stay 2 days, and then on your second day or midway through your first day, a whole nother group comes in. I'm not sure. There's been no exact information released on how they're going to do that. I just don't foresee them doing it any differently than that. If you're going to maintain that 100% immersion, you're going to have to make sure that outsiders can't just come in at whim. People will check in probably in small groups, so 20 will have a check-in time of 11 a.m., another 20 to 11:30, and they'll stagger it. And then once all guests are in throughout the day, and their immersion starts in different levels, it kind of puts those groups of people on the same path so that you can be a little more interactive with the other guests. However, if it's set up so that people are coming in staggering throughout the day, I'm not sure how the immersion is going to work. Again, we're still waiting on some of those details to be released. I just think if they want to complete the immersion, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. The way I see it, I'm basically assuming it's going to be one giant movie that kind of plays out across the entire stay, and every little group is in a different point in that movie in order to keep the immersion real. Now, at the same time, how's that going to work with people that just want to come in, drop their stuff off, and go to the park? But to be honest, with the price point that's on this particular resort stay for 2 days, I don't think I'd leave the resort at all, even to go to Galaxy's Edge. I'd make sure that that's something I'm going to do at another later point in my stay, because if I'm going to do this and I can only have 2 days within this really extensively themed resort, then I'm definitely going to want to stay in the resort. I'm going to want to explore every inch of this resort to see how immersive it actually turns out to be. Now, sit down for this one, everyone, because this price point's not going to be easy to take for some people. Quite frankly, depending on how big your family is, you might just be able to buy your own starship. As of right now, Disney's announced that you're looking at anywhere from $900 to $1,000 per person per night. So if you're looking at just a group of 2 people, you're looking at a minimum of $4,000 for the 2-night stay. Family of 4, you're looking at $8 grand. The only thing they've said that's included in this particular stay, including the immersive atmosphere, is the tickets to Galaxy's Edge, which is all fine and dandy unless you're an annual pass holder. So I don't know if there's going to be an annual pass holder discount. We'll see. I don't foresee them offering that, but there's still a chance. Because for some people, they've already got tickets. They're not going to want to buy new tickets to Galaxy's Edge. Now, say those tickets come with some kind of special perk, like multiple fast passes, extra fast passes, something special, then it might be okay for you not to charge an annual pass holder for the tickets in the cost of the resort stay, but we'll have to see what Disney does with that one. Now, I'm also assuming that that's not just tickets to Galaxy's Edge, that those tickets will basically include Hollywood Studios. So if you're coming from out of town and you're just doing a 2-day stay, then you'll have the ability to stay on site at this immersive resort and then go to Hollywood Studios, which will have Toy Story Land, Galaxy's Edge. But again, for this price and as immersive as they're promising it to be, I don't think I'd leave the resort for those 2 days I was there. I'd want everything I could get out of it. So hopefully you don't have to use your tickets on those days that you're in the resort, but we'll see. One of the other things that they don't mention is if meals are included. Specifically, they don't say that meals are included. I imagine if it's going to be as immersive as they're promising, then they're going to include meals while you're in the resort, because they'll probably themed to what you're doing or what part of that immersion that you're in. So I do foresee that some of your meals being included, but maybe once you're in the park, they're not included. But the way Disney does their dining plans, I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll get dining credits while you're in the park as well. And I think the main reason they're going to do that is to keep you from ordering or having to bring food from outside, because you don't want to go onto a spaceship and be flying around in the cosmic universe and you got the person next to you eating M&Ms. You know, I'm sure there'll be M&Ms on starships. Don't freak out. We're not quite to space travel yet. I'm just making an assumption. But they're going to want to keep it as completely Star Wars as possible. They're not going to want you calling the local Domino's and ordering a pizza to be delivered, because you're going to throw off their whole plan to completely immerse you in the Star Wars universe. So I foresee some meals, if not all, being included in that price. Now, one of the big things I see changing for this particular resort is resort hopping. Right now, you've got the coolest option. Let's say you're staying at the Polynesian and you want to go check out something else. You can resort hop to the Contemporary or the Poly or any of their other resorts on Disney property. You can go there and enjoy restaurants and things like that. But if they're going to keep this 100% immersive, I don't foresee you being able to resort hop into the Star Wars resort. Hopefully they will, but again, I don't think they want a bunch of vloggers and Star Wars fanboys oogling and ruining the immersive experience for all the other guests, especially if they're trying to make it as detailed as possible. You've got all these other people dressed in costume, all these guests that are dressed in costume paying a really high charge to have that completely Star Wars filled experience. They're not going to want just random strangers walking around and videoing and taking pictures and just oogling over all the Star Wars characters that are going to be there. So I have a feeling that this resort may be completely shut off from anyone not specifically staying on property. And that kind of goes back to when I said I think it'll be almost like a movie that happens across 2.5 days, and only people designated to be there those days will be allowed on property. But that's just my opinion and how I think it may work for Disney, or how Disney plans on making it work. I also don't foresee there being a pool in this resort. Again, if I'm staying at this resort and it's the Star Wars experience, I'm not going to spend any time in the pool, even if it is hotter than Dickens outside. I just see that a pool would completely ruin the feel of it being a starship, so I don't foresee them adding one, and then also kind of deters away from the resort hopping, because a lot of people pool hop when they're staying at resorts. So I don't see a pool happening in Star Wars on the starship in outer space. On top of it being a starship, also it's only a 2-day experience, so you're not going to want to spend any time wasted just swimming in a pool. I mean, unless they make this pool completely like if they put projections on the outside of the bottom of the pool and it's like a glass pool and it looks like you're swimming in outer space, then I can foresee a pool going in, but not like a standard pool like you'd see at Pop or the Caribbean beach resorts or anything like that. I don't see it being something just that simple, if they even put one in there at all. So, what are your thoughts on this new experience? How do you feel about this new style resort where it's completely immersive? Are there any other intellectual properties that Disney owns that you'd like seen made into an immersive hotel like this? Again, we don't have very many details. There's only a few pictures, but there's nothing 100% yet. Those are all just concept art. So are you saving up your pennies for this immersive 2-day experience to stay in a Star Wars themed resort when you could actually just spend the same amount of money for 4 people and go out on a Disney cruise for 5 days? Or will you be skipping it altogether? Let me know in the comments what you think of this new style of resorts that Disney's promising to open. Would you like to see another one? If you can't leave me a comment, tweet it out to me at Benson Cooler on Twitter. I really would love to know your thoughts on this. I love you guys. Till tomorrow.